qualified as a mate.
Mato grade. That's the word. What's up, everybody? It's Corey.
What up?
We
CJ.
got CJ. And we got Kev. We're talking about another one of the 10 Titanic captains.
Which one?
Shiryu of the Rain.
Oh,
Ooh.
Blackbeard's captain of the second ship. Carry some weight. If you are new here, this is the Overlook where we talk about One Piece, episode reviews, manga reviews, discussions. Right now we are going over the arcs, arc by arc, some of our favorite characters. We have this playlist, of course, of the 10 Titanic captains. We would really appreciate it if you guys supported us, follow us, give us a like, write down something you guys would like about Shiryu on this one. There is a little bit of history to him. We're going to get into him right now. First of all, his bio. Shiryu of the Rain is one of the 10 Titanic captains of the Blackbeard pirates, as captain of the second ship. He was originally introduced as the ex-head jailer of Impel Down, who had himself been in prison on level 6 death row for his excessive murderous violence against prisoners. When temporarily released to help Magellan quell the prison riot caused by Monkey D. Luffy and Marshall D. Teach coming to Impel Down, he chose to go against what was ordered and instead assisted the Blackbeard pirates, ultimately deciding to join them. Due to his actions and role, he is a supporting antagonist in the Impel Down and Marineford arcs, a minor antagonist in the Egghead arc, and a major antagonist in the final saga. And then a little bit on his personality. Actually has a lot of it about his personality.
He's bloodthirsty.
it's psychopathic.
Yeah.
Serial killer.
So yeah, let's just talk about it a little bit. He is a bloodthirsty psychopath that seems to enjoy killing people anytime he can. He's fond of his blade and seems to relish testing it against others, even if they are far below his level. Generally, Shiryu tends to keep calm, cool-headed demeanor, even in intense or unexpected situations. By nature, Shiryu appears rather deceitful and treacherous, shown first by his offering to help Magellan fight for his prison release, only to betray his former superior immediately and wreak havoc, killing his ex-subordinates mercilessly. Shiryu believes that the 7 warlords of the sea are just pirates, claiming once a pirate, always a pirate. Shiryu also does not seem to care much about personal details, especially if pertaining to relations he cut off. Shiryu seems to like smoking. When he's let out of prison cell, first thing he wanted was a lighter for a cigar. So we know who he fighting. And the last thing about him is he has the Suke no Mi, the paramecia, which is the clear fruit.
Yep.
All right.
The way he's holding that cigar, though, we thinking him versus Smoker at the end, maybe?
Bro, him versus
That would be
Smoker
pretty
and
cool.
Sanji?
Well, I'm thinking just Smoker because if you smoke out the battlefield, you're giving away position by you moving through it. Like you're not gone, you're still there. So
Plus, it would make
invisible.
Shiryu just as blind as he makes others, which would be.
Kind of gives me that vibe. But hold on for a second. Let me just ask you guys: how dumb you think Magellan was to let him out of jail? Even if it was,
he was desperate.
Yeah.
desperate. Okay, that's fair.
I think he was desperate and also very, very overconfident in his own ability. It didn't seem like he ever. Tell it to Magellan. Nobody has hockey ever. Like,
Because if I'm Magellan, I'm not letting somebody out on from death row to save us, because what is the upside? It's not like you're getting pardoned after this. Like, you're going right back in the cell after you're done.
Yeah,
That's why he did what he did.
Yeah, no, exactly. But
You can't blame him.
for Magellan, why did you think that
there
there was another outcome? I don't know.
I would question, what other options do you think Magellan had? About to have a prison break, people about to escape, never had a prison break.
Yeah.
done poisoned this kid twice, and he keeps coming back and fighting. All of your whole there's a prison riot.
Yeah.
While Hannibal is plotting on your position to be the new warden.
Yeah. While your second in command's like he didn't.
He's preying on your downfall, dog. He's
is-
just like, if he loses, I'm the new captain.
If
Like, that's crazy.
that's kind of crazy. But he's on the bathroom. That's tell me the info. But it's like if there were two options, someone didn't tell him the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Wait,
But
I got a question.
But to your point, he did exactly what he did. The
It's what I
exact
would
reason why
expect.
you would not have should have
Yeah.
released him.
Yeah. Question. So we're saying that Shiryu's fighting Sanji and not Zoro?
I
I
could see
think-
him fighting Sanji because
I
Sanji has the
feel like
vendetta
they're-
because the clear fruit, the
Well,
invisibility
man,
thing itself is just like the biggest thing for me.
I swear it was gonna be Zoro, not just because they're swordsmen, but just because there are other parallels. Like, we're introduced to them as
He
swordsmen,
is the
but they
second
don't
command.
have their swords. We're introduced to them, and they're both captured. And then right after that, they deviate. Where Shiryu is more dishonorable, where Zoro is honorable. To your
Sure.
point, Kevin, when you were talking about the rice cakes and stuff. And to this point, where he just betrayed Magellan and them immediately as soon as he got his swords.
Well,
But
and I'll piggyback off that and take it a step further. I mean, his whole entire clear fruit is dishonest. Like, you're not facing me straight up. You're not an honorable swordsman who's fighting me 1v1. You're using tricks. Zoro doesn't use tricks. He uses techniques for sure, but to hide and to stab me in the back, which is definitely Shiryu's.
Bam.
Like, that's
Yep.
just
Bam.
dishonorable.
There it is.
So
Bam.
I agree. I would
Bam.
love for Zoro
Yep.
and him to fight.
Yep.
And
And
this is-
you also
and
have
this is
this.
like how
You
he
also have
become-
this. Impel Down is an allegory for hell,
Sure.
and it's
Seven
also
rings of hell and stuff.
yeah, and like Dante's Infernos and shit like that. And at the
Mhm.
bottom of the bottom in Dante's Inferno, like level 9, that's treachery.
And I'm sorry. Do we know
And-
somebody who's the demon of or the king of hell?
That's
Do we
what I
know
was
somebody?
going to say. We got Zoro, who's the king of hell, and then you got Magellan, who's the guardian of hell.
I don't hate it.
So it's like there's like certain things where I was even looking at it where if Zoro is the king of hell, that's what Enma is. Is Zoro inheriting Enma's will? Or is Zoro becoming Enma?
True. Possible.
I don't know.
I mean, and so let's talk a little bit about his abilities. I mean, his clear fruit is a paramecia. Turns himself invisible, which is something that Sanji absolutely hates because he's always wanted this fruit.
But and to that point, it's like, well, you can do it now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of
he
glad
just
that
chooses not to.
yeah, well, I'm
Yeah.
glad. I think we're all
Sure,
glad
but-
that he chooses not to because we know what he wanted to do it.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. Yeah.
So I, for one, am glad he's past that, I guess.
What do you think this awakening is going to look like in terms of the Dova fruit? Like, is he going to be able to turn the environments invisible?
I think he'll turn his
So whoever-
weapons invisible.
His crewmates?
His weapons.
Oh, well,
That'd be
his sword.
pretty-
I
that'd be
think he'll
pretty
turn
sweet.
his sword invisible.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean,
it'll be
yeah.
a thing where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're fighting like a modded character in fucking For Honor.
That would
Sure.
be incredibly underwhelming because you're still like holding the hilt. So I see it's like this.
Well, then, I mean, just put that towards like things I mean, that's the awakening for anything. Things you
That's
interact
true.
with. So it's just
Yeah,
like whatever
and-
the
and-
awakening is, just how he interacts with it.
And his hockey
world.
can already be imbued to his sword now. So, I mean, 2 years, him moving power, his devil, probably. Right?
Yeah, because if it's not something he's physically touching, the only other answer of what he could do is like make others invisible or make other
Mhm.
objects invisible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which isn't really a
Oh.
Blackbeard pirate style.
he
Like,
made
they all-
he made
like-
your bridge invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he also has a really cool sword that was taken from him before he was imprisoned, but then given back to him once he was released, which is the worst thing you could possibly do, which is it's still a Mato grade sword. So I'd love to maybe get him an improvement on that sword, maybe
Ryu.
something a little different. It is named Ryu, yep.
But I feel like Mato is still solid. Like
It could be.
I feel like
I think am I mistaken? Isn't Meito just the fact that it's a graded sword, but it doesn't tell you which one it is? It's just classified as graded. I might be mistaken with that.
yeah, Mato is. So there's skillful blades, great blades. There's 50 skillful blades and 21 great blades and 12 supreme grade. I'm thinking this is in the 21 great blades, which I think, depending on the user,
Yeah.
cool. I mean, if it, like, let's say, if we're getting, I think this is how the swords work. Like, if you have a great blade and you're strong with it, cool, you're gonna be working. But if like Zoro and Mihawk clash at their level, and one has a great blade and one has a supreme grade, it ain't gonna work. But I feel like you could. I feel like there's still, I don't know, whatever. Great blades. Either way, the thing's name's Ryu, which is storms, thunderstorm. His name's Shiryu of the rain, storming. He probably strikes like lightning, like you don't see it coming. Like there's got to be like something there.
Rain's blood.
Rain's blood. Yeah.
There's something that like I was looking at, because I saw with the Blackbeard pirates, especially in this recent episode of 11:15. You see a lot of them are just carefree and they crack a lot of jokes. Even Lafitte seemed like to like take part in some laughter when he was like recounting on the man marked with the burn scar or marked by flames or whatever. But
they were talking pretty freely.
One thing that I noticed is that since he's come on screen, Shiryu has never been comic relief whatsoever. He is straight up serious, which makes me also think like, okay, if he's guarding the jail for Impel Down and everything, so he's affiliated with the Marines. So what's his brand of justice? It would have to be along the lines of absolute, right? Because now he's even murdering people who's already been sentenced to hell.
I mean, if he's not just an Akainu who was a prison guard, then I don't know what he is. Akainu.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. This is basically what Akainu is. But
And
yeah,
I guess we assume a lot because we haven't really seen him fight too much on screen as far as the anime goes. In the manga,
We've seen him fight more than Shanks.
Yes, I agree. I mean, but you got to think about it. So him versus Magellan, not seen. Edward Newgate, it was them jumping him. So I don't really. Sengoku.
Fair.
yeah.
A lot of it has been unseen until we get to Garp in the recent manga chapters. So here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see that animated, and I think we're finally going to get a real appreciation for Shiryu. And I think that
they fight like how pirates are supposed to be fighting, like sneak tactics and stuff like that. Like to Chris's point, like Shiryu doesn't do one-on-one fights, even though he's probably qualified to do a one-on-one fight. He's like, no, because I'm way more efficient and I can kill a lot more people if I just do what I can do best, which is sneak, stab people in the back.
Yeah.
Or stab them when they're least expecting it.
I mean, that's warfare in general, though.
Scars on the back are a swordsman's greatest shame.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's when I was like, bam, bam. Yeah, like, scars are back as a swordsman's greatest shame. Like, I wonder if, like you say that to Shiryu, he's like, I'm not a swordsman.
Like, I'm a killer, dog. Like,
I have a sword.
Yeah, I use swords. I use a sword.
I use swords because they're longer than knives.
I mean, a little history lesson, as you guys may know this. Go ahead.
But I'm out. Okay, first off, that would be terrifying if someone just said that.
Yeah, like, I use swords because they're longer than knives. I'm not a swordsman. I just want to stab people.
Just that one first
That's
line.
him.
That's it.
I feel like that's him.
Kev. Go ahead.
I mean,
Kev.
it goes back to like ancient like war and how they did it. Like you used to meet on a battlefield, right? Like you used to like, hey, we're gonna meet here at 11 a.m. on Tuesday and fight.
Flagpole after school.
You'd hear them drums, they'd be waving flags. But
Bring your guy
now, I
with the
mean,
whistle.
it's spies, it's you know, incursions like with a 2-man crew. I mean, it's all about winning. It's not about, oh, I did it honorably. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm alive. He's not.
The honorable nigga dead is what Kevin said.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, hey, he played by the rules, and you know, good for him. He can tell it's a God.
Kind of to that point,
Yeah.
I think it was always like that, man. I think you had less people writing the books about it.
Sure, history is written by the winners for
Like,
sure.
we definitely won that fair and square. Did you?
But I mean, let's not say Luffy's honorable. Like it was 5v2 on top of the Onigashima roof. Like
Luffy will jump a person too.
yeah, they'll jump somebody. Like it's not unheard of. We just kind of, I think, correlate them to the good guys.
Like, remember when they jumped oars?
Yeah, exactly. Like they jump people just because King 1v1 Zoro doesn't mean.
Frankie family.
Hey, Usopp deserved that shit though.
If it was up to Shiryu, if it was up to Kevin, Usopp would be in fucking impelled down with Shiryu. You're like, there you go.
It's where he belongs.
Yeah, for doing the worst crime of all, betraying your crew. But I mean,
Getting my hopes
speaking of
up for
betrayal,
better.
I mean, I don't see Shiryu betraying the crew, but I can see him being like, "Oh, I'm done."
Sure.
Yeah.
Like at a very crucial point, like, "Oh no, I'm done."
I'm here until we no longer align.
Yeah.
I'm
They were
only here
always,
until you change.
Dubious of him, and they were dubious of Kuzan. Kuzan because, like, obvious reasons, being ex-military and shit. But they were dubious about Shiryu, like, I guess for the same reason. But more so because Shiryu kept questioning Blackbeard and his methods and if his shit is actually going to work. He kept testing him with fate and everything. If you guys didn't survive, I wouldn't have helped you. I guess I'll follow you because you guys, I've been waiting for someone to actually break me out. But I don't know if I'm gonna really follow you because I don't believe you and your devil fruit plan. That's not gonna work. Okay, I guess it works. So I guess I'll follow you. It's like when you have someone who's like fickle like that, and how you're saying until our interests no longer align them out. I wouldn't trust every person either. Like you're not all in.
And maybe his goal is to just have his own justice on his own island. Blackbeard's promising him, like, hey, when I have my own territory that's like legalized by the government, you have your own island. And you can execute whatever the fuck you want. You can have your total justice. Like, go for it. I don't give
Blackbeard sound like Lex Luthor.
Yeah, you can execute.
I can kill everybody. Yeah, go for it.
You can go outside and start killing people right now. I don't care.
Just leave my 10 crew, your fellow captains,
Like,
leave them alone.
So
everyone else,
you trying to go to the movies or not? We're like, you can do whatever you want, bro. We're about to go watch Deadpool.
But Shiryu is a fucking problem, and I love him for it because he's everything that we want from a swordsman, as far as like that cutthroat, no honor having. I mean, he's really a good contrast to our Zoro on the pad. So
I did not know he was the captain of the second ship. That means he's right after Burgess.
Which, I mean, without him,
which is why I think he's fighting Zoro, because he's not Zoro, Sanji, because it's like he's the third technically, because Burgess would be the first.
Get me off this pod, bro. Get me out of here.
Nah.
No way. You said Sanji's third, dog. Are we forgetting like 5 crew members?
I mean, and to be real about like Sanji, like Jinbei ain't getting no stronger.
Look, man, I'm like this. You give the Shiryu Zoro fight because one's an honorable swordsman, one's a dishonorable swordsman. One can disappear completely. So now, Zoro has to go back to using the breath of all things. Maybe that's a form of hockey, and that's just what they called it in Shimosuke Village. I say give the Burgess fight to Sanji because they ain't got speed versus strength. But at the same time, Sanji can at least take those hits.
Yeah. Also, after Egghead, Sanji will have a higher bounty than Jinbei because he was the one putting more paws on more Gorosei and admirals in real time in front of everybody. You could quote that right now. I'll meet y'all back here in November.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but to go to his fight. I mean, the biggest fight in my opinion, Shiryu, is when they jump Garp in the recent chapter. Garp has some of the best hockey. I think he has all three. I think we can all agree to that, right? He has observation, armament, and conquers. He still doesn't sense Shiryu. He doesn't sense Shiryu coming at him.
He did.
I don't think so. I think like all you see is like him ducking out of the way or to get Kobe out of the way, right? Oh, I guess that's
because
fair enough.
Kobe was
pushed him out of the way.
Actual target.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Okay. But not enough to armament hockey this time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
comes up because it's like you don't go the Virgo route where you go all full body armament hockey because that actually drains you. So you were fast enough to get there, but not fast enough to get there with hockey on your torso.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you can speculate. This is all ploy to make Russ Kuzan fine, but the fact that Shiryu got a punch on him like that, I mean, you're up against Garp the hero. So that means Kobe would be easy work for Shiryu. That means,
but Shiryu also waited until like Garp was. It wasn't like Garp This wasn't like when Garp was walking up. This was like after he was like frozen multiple times, like fight.
I would have loved to see him just stabbing Hibari frozen, like chipping her out and like just like.
I would have liked.
He's a bloodthirsty.
I would have liked that. Like while like Garp was like frozen, like he takes out like one of like he cuts a sword member down, like just one of them. We're like, oh yeah. Like, there's others here. I could do Garp.
Like, he's on the ship. He's on the ship, right? And he's just, like, cutting down unnamed Marines.
About it. You said something earlier, and I was going to say something about it right now, Chris.
You guys are what's up?
Kuzan and Shiryu, they're going to have a back and forth because they're both from the government. And, like, Shiryu has to know Garp. He's got to know Garp.
I think they all know Garp, though. Like, as far as, like, a legend goes.
Yeah,
do you think, like, he personally knows him? Is that what you're saying?
Well, because they're all in the military.
Yeah, sure. Well, no, just the levels that they were. Like, the head of the prison and the guy that gets sent out for the military right under that fleet admiral. Like, you guys know each other.
Yeah.
And I guarantee he don't like Garp.
You would have to escort people worthy of going down to, like, level 6, 5, and 4 because they would trust that those type of people would be the vice admiral and the admirals. Yeah, you would have to be rubbing shoulders with the jailer.
Yeah, and just like any jailer in any TV show ever, the jailer's like, who the fuck you think you are? This is my place. This is my place.
But I get out in 2 weeks. It's like, you're getting out never.
Yeah, you don't run shit here.
Because Garp, I mean, the Marines think that they're like, oh, I'm protecting justice. I'm instilling harmony in the world. Jailers think I am watching the gates of hell. I am not trying to let these monsters back onto Earth to hurt civilians.
Like,
and so he honestly thinks he's watching scum.
Yeah, like this kid was just stealing tires.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. He was shoplifting to feed his family. He's like, I'm sorry. Death penalty?
You mean there's more scum?
I'm sorry. What was his address again? It sounds like we got some loose criminals.
There's a pack of you.
Go give me his paperwork.
There's a
go give me his
pack of you is crazy.
I'm gonna go look into some things.
He's like, God. Oh shit. I mean, Oh, dude. Okay. So even in the manga chapter, I'm rereading it as we're talking. He does Shiryu, that punk from Impel Down. So they do know, like, even if it's by like just conversations or rumors or something. Like they do know each other. I don't think that they personally
cause, like huge, like imagine like military skirmishes, and you take like their military prisoners, and you're like, we got to take them to impel down, because like our prison out there near Cuba, whatever it's called, but you take them to impel down Guantanamo Bay, but you take them to impel down, and then Garp is like, hey man, how come all of our war prisoners are dead? Shiryu's like, I don't know, things happen down here.
Things happen down here would be funny.
I guarantee they don't like each other.
You didn't even clean up the blood.
That's why when he stabs Garp, he's like, I've been wanted. That's why I'm stabbing you from the front.
Sounds like justice to me.
I didn't stab you in the back. I stabbed you so I could see your fucking eyes. That's why I use swords.
I mean, if you guys want to deep dive into that, I mean, we are in a world where guns exist. So the people who use swords, they like it. You know, like this is you get your killers in our world, and they're like, nah, like I love that face to face. Like I love to watch the life drain out of you type mentality, and it's crazy to think people are like that. But that's how Shiryu is too.
You gotta love the weapon you use.
Yeah,
you gotta like the weapon. You gotta want to use it, because it's like, why not just pick up a gun?
Exactly. Like this is so much easier. It's like, yeah,
but I can dodge bullets. Not everybody can though.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, 99.9% of people out there can't.
I guarantee that you ain't dodging shit that nigga's missing.
But it's also, I mean, to defend Garp a little bit, that's how you do get somebody like Shiryu in close. You let him stab you. If you can take the shot, then it's like what reminds me of Naruto versus Kabuto. He grabs the shuriken, Rasengan in the right hand, and just fucking like that's the only way he was able to let him get close. So something similar could have been for Garp. He senses it. He's like, all right, come stab me, and then I'm going to fucking obliterate you over the top. That's kind of how I imagine it, too. But, I mean, Garp was the one.
Any other fights outside the Straw Hats that we want to see before we close this out? Down in the chat, also, write some matchups that you guys want to see Shiryu be a part of.
Shiryu and Fujitora.
Do you think he's going to be fighting Zoro, Sanji, maybe a different character? Write that down below. Versus Fujitora would be crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
I already can't see, nigga. Yeah, I can't see anyway, nigga.
But now you can't walk.
Yes.
I think Fujitora bodies him.
Yeah, I mean, he got that observation.
And he can
and he got
the gravity.
Yeah,
he just keeps him where he's at. And he knows where he's at.
Exactly. Yeah. My thing is that like shit. You're relying on people to not see you. And so, you're like probably like loud footsteps or something, and then you see Fujitora is like whose other senses are so enhanced, blind.
Because remember that is a horror arc. That person, maybe he likes the loud footsteps where it's like where's that coming from, kind of thing. But who else?
What you got? I like Smoker. I like the Smoker idea.
Ooh, yes,
I think him and Smoker would be pretty cool because you can see him. There's a movie way back when. It's called The Invisible Man. It has Kevin Bacon in it.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how they catch him.
The rain because
they let out. They let out the smoke, and you see him like running through the smoke, and that's how they catch him.
Kevin Bacon. Wow.
Kevin Bacon. I mean, that's what reminds. It's also like blood. You throw blood on him. Yeah. Like you bleed on him, and it's like his blood on his face now.
He's
like it's painting.
You beat him just like you beat Crocodile.
If Nami wasn't like if she was part of the fight, I would love it if she used her Mirage tempo and then exposed him because he's taking out the wrong Mirages, or at least that's just an exchange that they have. You don't have to fight; you can just get away. You know what I mean? But what do y'all think? We are rounding off at 30 minutes. That's the episode for Frankie.
In the Robo Frankie, and he brings out his sword. And just uses like some like different kind of like specs on the goggles and everything, like ultraviolet or heat.
ultraviolet. That would be nuts. That'd be
And
kinda
that's how
cheap.
he's able to find. He's like, "You're right there. I see."
I'm looking right at you.
Like he
dog.
doesn't even know he's invisible in the first
Radical
place.
beam move.
Like he
Yeah.
never invisible.
I would love for
I'm
Frankie
looking right
to
at
fight that dude, man. What are you talking about?
That would be cool. That would be very cool. But let us know in the comments below, and also subscribe, watch, and stay
Share.
tuned for more. Share if you want. Actually, we do get a lot of people that share stuff. I don't know who that is, but people do be sharing.
Love.
So
Good luck.
yeah,
Well, thank y'all for sharing as well. Get the word out there.
yeah, keep it up.
Love to hear. Yeah, love to hear
Yeah.
the community thoughts on this. Who's your guys' favorite Titanic captain? Who should we cover next week? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. We'll be back next Tuesday for another of the 10 Titanic captains. Catch y'all later.
You're
You're
Yeah, my thought